Hey there! You know, I wanted to continue the trend that I've started since the past couple of weeks. We've been talking a lot around personal development and self-growth. A couple of days back, we talked about patience, and then we speak about practicing building up patience. It's a journey. We also spoke about how do we develop a review process of our personal growth yesterday. So today I thought I want to share with you a topic that is very, very important to me personally, which is about how do we deal with and cultivate balanced ego. All right. Now, first of all, it's very important to make sure that you understand. Now, ego is actually part of who we are, part of our own existence. Now, ultimately, I also want to spend some time to talk about why ego is so important. At the same time, how can we cultivate a balanced ego within us? So first of all, ego, in many different research, ultimately it really just means the sense of identity, the sense of who are we, the sense of who are you, the sense of who am I. So ego is really the sense of identity. Now, why is ego important? Actually, we are all born with it, we grew up with it, and it gave us a sense of identity, but at the same time, it also gave us the confidence as well as the self-esteem. All right, in anything that we do, as we're growing in our career, in our life, we are all looking to become successful individual. So all of us, to be able to be successful, need certain self-esteem, to know that our self-worth, and at the same time have the confidence to speak about what we have achieved, what we know, how we define our own successes, etc. So ego is part of helping us, enabling us to have that confidence, to have that self-esteem. Now, the flip side of it, too much ego give an impression that we are egocentric, ultimately somebody who is selfish and also arrogant. All right, we talk too much about ourselves, so it become me, 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 me. So it become too much arrogant around. We only focus on ourselves, and we don't really, we probably ignore others people's opinion or feeling or their persons, their presence, I mean. So it's very important to know ego is a sense of identity. Now, the too much of that creates a negative impression, that it gives us the impression that we are being arrogant and we're being selfish. So how do we deal with ego? For me, it's not so much about not having ego, but it's more about cultivating a balanced ego. All right, balanced ego in the sense where use it when you need to and keep it in the pocket when you are in a bigger picture. So there are three things that I feel is very, very fundamental for us to cultivate balanced ego. First of all, understand your personal values and your purpose. Who are you? What are you looking to achieve in your lifetime? How do you want people to talk about you? So what is the purpose that you are here? Why are you doing what you're doing? It's very important to understand value and purpose are actually defining who you are. Now, money, power, authority, material achievement, all that are actually the outcome. All that are actually things in this material world that enhance who you are. See, if you're somebody who's generous, when you become successful, you're probably going to be even more generous, right? Now, on the other hand, if you're someone who is who likes to feel good about themselves, when you have the right position, when you have the right material achievement, when you have the right material means, you probably focus on fancying or taking care of yourself, right? So it's very, very important to understand the value and also the purpose of who you are. That should be defined, that should be the one that defines you ultimately. So clarify that, very, very important. All right, remember, how do you want people to remember you by? That's the questions that you want to reflect on in order to define your ego. In order to define your values and your purpose. Okay, second step is to make sure we do everything we have to do to build positive relationship with ourselves, positive and balanced relationship with ourselves. Right now, in that sense, what is very important is having that relationship with ourselves. That means there's a big voice, there's who we are. Once we know who is our purpose, there will always be that ego conversation with our values, right? Our ego might tell us, what about me, what about me, what about me? And the purpose needs to be very clear. What about the bigger picture? So always cultivate building a positive and balanced relationship with ourselves. Now, some people do it through exercising, where they clear their mind through running, through meditating, through doing some yoga, some self-talk. Really, it's all about having that conversation with ourselves, reminding ourselves what is our purpose and what is our values, and then reminding ourselves what is our ego doing towards that. So that conversation will help us to build positive and balanced relationship with ourselves. So have the time. Always schedule time for you to talk to yourself. Reflect on, what is going well, what are the things that you want to do differently to be able to be achieved, to be able to reflect on the values that you are representing. And last but not least, very important is to verify the difference between serving and control. Okay? A lot of us, a great leader focusing on serving others. All right? The ego person focusing on controlling the situation. So ask yourself the question every time when you're dealing with yourself, are you focusing on serving others or are you focusing on having control? If you are focusing on having control, ask yourself, how can I serve better? Now, if you are focusing on serving, right? Serving not just yourself but the others, it's very important. Focusing on serving us and serving we rather than just I or me. Okay, that's very, very important because that will help you to understand the value of the bigger picture. Remember, it brings us back to purpose and values. And are we reminding ourselves the bigger picture, or are we reminding ourselves of just who we are trying to serve ourselves? So I hope this helps you. So these are the 3 things that I find it very helpful in cultivating a balanced ego. Very important to have the confidence, very important to have the self-esteem, but use it to serve the purpose that why you are here. Use it to remind yourself the bigger picture of who you are so that you have a balanced relationship with yourself, and ultimately observe the action and behavior that you are doing to make sure that you are focusing on serving and not necessarily just controlling. All right, hope you like this and speak to you soon. Bye.